Colored. This year's shit's colored, so you can actually see.
Okay.
You went to Staples?
Yeah, that seems good like that right there.
Really?
Logos are colored this year. We got a colored printer at work. I'm like, there we go.
What do you do for work?
All right, boys. Welcome to year 5 of the playoff Pickem. And this year, I've made some upgrades thanks to Chris. Welcome us here to his home.
Thank you, Chris. You the man.
Thanks to Ralph here, who's we're using the GoPro this year instead of my phone, and it'll be uploaded to YouTube sometime later on tonight. Worst things worse, tomorrow morning. I don't know.
Tonight. Hopefully tonight.
More importantly, though, we're what we might lack in competition this year. We took a couple of steps back in competition by about 2 guys this year, but we'll make upgrades with the media part. And then, of course, I'm surrounded here by 2018 champion Chris, 2019 champion myself, 2021 champion Sean, and then Ralph, who still hasn't won a dime in the league, but he's getting there.
Hey, look, I got the regular season pick'em last year. I mean,
doesn't count.
We tied, but hey, look.
Ethan doesn't count.
But yeah, to start off the board, obviously Wang and TJ were eliminated. Joey-O's on here with 290 points. He was 68 points behind Mason, the leader. Now, last year, remember, Joey-O's came in, he was 48 points behind, and was the only one on the board that picked the right Super Bowl and the right winner.
Yeah.
He was the only one that did it, and if it wasn't for Sean having Cincinnati going to the Super Bowl as well, then he had a legitimate shot to win it, but Joey-O's decided not to pick this year. So this year, it's an 11-team race as far as coming into the Pickem being alive mathematically. You can start us up, boy.
Let's go.
All right, so starting off, we're going to go right here to the bottom with Jeff. And you guys can see Cincinnati was a unanimous pick. A lot of that has to do with the Lamar Jackson injury. And then, but then we get to the Jacksonville Chargers game, and that's more your 50-50 split that you see. Buffalo being unanimous, Dallas, Tampa Bay, 50-50 split and all that you see with a lot of these games. But with Jeff...
Cowboys are winning. We all know. Come on.
Yeah. But with Jeff, the hard part is, and with Jeff's thought process, I don't know if he thought that Buffalo would be a popular pick, which they turned out to be. But what he has here is the Bills winning the Super Bowl. And if you just go up right here to where Chris is, that's where he runs into the issues with making up the points, because he is 38 points back of just Chris, let alone being 52 points behind Mason in the leaderboard. So with that being said, Jeff is eliminated this year. Then we go to Ralph, who's right here with you. Now, Ralph, and we're gonna talk this up a little bit. Bengals being unanimous, Bills being unanimous. Obviously, we'll start here with Jacksonville and the Chargers. I agreed with you. I like the Jaguars more.
They're wrong.
Your thought process on that one.
Oh, all right. So I'm thinking it's coming down to me. It's coming down to Lawrence versus Herbert. So far this year, Herbert hasn't proved as much to me as Lawrence. I think Lawrence is going to take the next step. They might steal this game. It's just a game I could see kind of being stolen, where a lot of people are thinking, all right, the Chargers are going to win this. It's going to be downhill for Staley and the boys.
And you know what? I agree with you, obviously. And then, obviously, we made these picks, and then later on in the week, we found out that Mike Williams is going to be out.
That, too. I forgot about that. Yep.
So, of course, that helps a little bit.
That's huge.
Now, of course, we got to talk about Dallas and Tampa Bay for many reasons. I'll give you to this. If you go back to like a month, you could see the matchup coming probably 4 or 5 weeks away.
We were talking about this for like a month.
I don't know how you guys felt, but maybe a month ago, match up these two.
Yep.
I would have had. It was 50-50 for me. I was having a hard time with what I was going to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, your thoughts on Dallas, Tampa?
All right, so I got for Dallas, Tampa. Obviously, we all know. I mean, come on, there's a little bit of bias here. My boy Derek is probably going to tell me all about it. But by the way, how's that Packers loss treating you? Okay, but no. So we got we got the Cowboys. They got 3 guys coming back who mean a lot to the team. We got the center coming back, Biotish. But
and then Van Der Esch is coming back.
Van Der Esch is coming back. Thank you. And Biotish is coming. I see my brain's leaving. Biotish is coming back. Van Der Esch is coming back. Oh, and we got Xavier Rhodes. My bad. I forgot about that.
Xavier Rhodes, who played for Minnesota.
Played for Minnesota. He's a former first-round pick. So we'll see what happens. Maybe he comes in and he plays well in the playoffs. But I hope Michael Parsons gets after Brady. I'll say that.
And then moving right along to the next game, what you guys could see was evenly split, and probably if there's a dog that's a favorite coming into this week, it's the New York Giants. Going up against Minnesota. Now, we know from fantasy, being in the fantasy league, which this is attached to, you were a Jefferson guy.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on Giants?
He traded him just so.
I did trade him, but because he was no longer going to be my keeper. But I just think I can't trust Daniel Jones, even as much as I can't trust Cousins. I just think he's going to force feed Jefferson. He's got Dalvin Cook at his disposal. Danny Dimes might, he has Barkley, but I just think it's going to be too much for them Vikings offense to take over.
And we got 49ers being unanimous against Seattle. Now we move on to the next round, and according to your picks, which this works out for a lot of us, Buffalo would take on Cincinnati, Kansas City would take on Jacksonville for your picks. Going with the favorite, Kansas City, I would imagine they put a lot of thought into.
No.
Best teams in the league. Not in that matchup.
It just went right through my brain.
So Buffalo and Cincinnati.
Beat them twice already, though.
What do we got with Buffalo and Cincinnati? What do you like? The whole field, Josh Allen.
I love all that, and I love the fact that after what's happened with Hamlin, as we all know, I just feel like it's going to be a special rest of the year for them, and they might even end up taking the Super Bowl. I just had to pick the Chiefs because I thought maybe that might be a safer pick, but I would say Buffalo could possibly do it all this year. So.
And then right here, you got the 49ers in this situation, due to your picks, would take on Minnesota.
Yep.
Not much there. Kirk Cousins going up against that pass rush.
Good luck,
Okay. Dallas.
Don't like that. Don't like that.
Now Dallas against Philly. And this is a moneymaker for you if you look at it.
Yeah.
This is ultimately where you're staying alive.
Yeah.
There's other interesting parts about what you've done here.
Yeah.
But Dallas against Philly, I'll give it Lane Johnson's back in practice.
Yeah,
but he is going to need off-season core surgery.
Yeah. We'll say he's 70% at best, maybe.
And if you remember the Sunday night game when Cooper Rush played, Lane Johnson got hurt in the third quarter, and the Eagles' offense went stagnant.
Yep.
He got hurt against you guys late in the game on Christmas Eve.
Yep.
And Gardner Minshew was not touched in that game. The following week, without Lane Johnson, Gardner Minshew sacked 5 times in the first half against New Orleans. There's a big difference with Lane Johnson
You could
being
argue
100% or not being there at all.
Yeah, you could argue he's MVP-esque to that team.
If there is a chance that Dallas has, it could be the health of Lane Johnson.
Yep.
Rather than just Jalen Hurts.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Agreed, 100%.
And then you move into your championship games. Kansas City going up against the Buffalo Bills. That game would be at Atlanta at the neutral site.
Yep.
Is that where they confirmed it?
Yeah, Mercedes-Benz.
If they play each other.
If they play, only if it's Kansas City.
Only if it's Buffalo. Yeah.
Right.
Why not at Lambeau Field? Just play there for Derek.
Oh, money, man. They want Super Bowl weather.
Just kidding, Derek. It's not good.
But yeah, Kansas City, Buffalo. What's the advantage that the Chiefs have?
I mean, Mahomes, really. And I know Allen is on the same tier as Mahomes, but I'm sorry, man. Allen versus Mahomes, we saw it even in fantasy. Mahomes is the number 1 fantasy player, Allen number 2, and I know that doesn't mean much for what they're going to play. But I just like Mahomes to handle business like he always does, although the Bills did beat them once, right? So it's hard to beat a team twice, especially, what is that going to be, the AFC Championship? Right?
Yep.
So, yeah, I see Mahomes slinging it. He's going to get it to Tony more, he's going to get more involved, and Allen in the run game aren't going to do much. He's going to try and pass too much. Going to be a couple picks. KC win.
And then, of course, with that, you know, we're looking at the board here, and you got to go all the way up to Mason at number 1 to find any other team like Kansas City even in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But now you got Dallas beating San Francisco. That's one of 2 things that
payback, baby.
Could
Payback.
Really, that's a 15-point game.
Yep.
It's not enough.
Yeah.
But it gets you in the ballpark. You need it.
Yeah.
Because somebody else up here more than likely will get that 15 on you if you don't.
Yeah. What other NFC team would I be?
But then you're the only one in this league with Patrick Mahomes winning the Super Bowl this year.
Yep.
And this is the second year in a row in this league that the Kansas City Chiefs are only picked once to win the Super Bowl out of.
Yeah, it's kind of wild.
Well, we got last year's. We got 13 guys. We got 11 guys. So in the past 2 years, 24 guys have picked.
Yeah.
And only two guys have picked the Chiefs.
Kind of mind blowing. Yeah, mind blowing stat right there.
So and the Chiefs, now you got them against Dallas. You know how you are with Dallas.
Do it.
All right, I'm going to be honest. There's no analysis for that. It's just,
Nope.
I didn't want to jinx the Cowboys and pick them to win it all. No, but the Chiefs are the superior team of the league. On their best day, they're going to beat pretty much everyone. So,
to your credit, going way back in August,
yeah,
a lot of us picked the Chargers to win the AFC South or the West.
Yeah, a lot of people thought Chiefs would be going downhill because of Hill going out.
Talking about South, the Chargers.
Yeah. A lot of people picked the Raiders.
People picked the Raiders.
Yes, some people put them in
People picked the Broncos.
True.
There were people out there with the Broncos.
Some drafted Russell Wilson.
Yeah. But you were the one that picked Kansas City.
Yep.
So you're kind of here at the end of the year riding with them the whole time. So
Yep.
All right. So because of the situation here with Ralph and Dallas and Kansas City, Ralph is mathematically still alive for Pickem.
I'll take that.
On to Xavier, and Xavier made a massive switch this week, a couple days ago. Cincinnati was not going to be unanimous this year in the wild card because originally he had the Baltimore Ravens not only beating Cincinnati, but moving on to the next round to beat Buffalo. Then moving on even further to win the whole thing in the Super Bowl.
Damn, I'm glad he made that switch.
But possibly,
No, not. He would be out quicker.
Yeah, but
possibly due to the Lamar situation, he backed off.
Yeah.
His whole board changed, and now he's going with the San Diego Chargers to win the whole thing, which would pretty much guarantee him where he's at.
By the way, Los Angeles.
He's 34 points behind Mace. And he's got some 50-50 games in here. But then again, if Xavier loses this game on Saturday night in Jacksonville, it's over.
Yep.
And that's it. But the Chargers are what I'll say for the Chargers on this point is actually I'm going to save that for when I get up to you, Chris, because you can talk about it because you're here. But the Chargers are a team that they bit me in the ass a lot because I lived out in San Diego. It was Sean Merriman, it was Tomlinson in his prime, it was Drew Brees, and then it was Phillip Rivers coming up.
Yeah.
And then, it was Quentin Jammer and Antonio Cromartie. And they were picked to win every single year. Yeah. And it never happened.
The kickers suck.
Nate Kading missing a couple of big field goals in the playoffs.
Yep.
That are famous. Marty Schottenheimer mismanaging play clock or whatever.
Also
famous. So we're going to hold off on the Chargers, but Xavier, due to what he did here, he's the only one that rode the Cinderella team. So Xavier is still alive for Pickem. And then we get to Derek. And boy, this one hurt. When I fill this out every year, I look for a couple of things right away to see if guys are still alive. And obviously, we got a 50-50 game here. We're going with Jackson, we're going with the home team. Buffalo going with Tampa Bay in a 50-50. Also going with the Giants in a 50-50 game. And then we get our Cincinnati pick here against the Buffalo Bills. And he's the highest one on the chart to do that so far. And then pretty much everything else here, with the exception of the Bengals, is pretty much status quo. But the problem, obviously, with Derek here is if you go right up to the only other person that picked the Bengals to win the Super Bowl, that's me. And the only game that we have different is Giants-Vikings.
Yes,
And
John eliminated you there.
yeah, being behind by 8 points, the 5 points would put him down by a Cody Parkey field goal. So, I wanted another Massiola sweep this year.
You got it.
I got it, baby. I got it.
Oh man!
Another
Can we just
Massiola
real quick?
sweep.
Can we just talk about the Lions game? Winning in. All you gotta do is beat the Lions. All right,
The body's still cold. The body's still cold. All right, now Derek being out of Pickem because of the 3-point difference there between me and him. So now the field is now a little bit tighter this year. So now we're on to Chris, who could vouch for himself with the Chargers. Not quite at the extent that Xavier did, but Bengals and then Chargers beating Jacksonville. So what do you like in the Chargers-Jacksonville game?
Just look at, what was it, week 3 before they played them?
Yeah, it was week 3.
They blew them out. The Jaguars blew them out 38-10.
Right.
I think even with Mike Williams out, I think the Chargers, their coach, I think Brandon Staley,
Yeah.
I think the guy's an idiot.
I agree.
I was, even in fantasy, I was high on Herbert. He didn't do what I wanted to do in fantasy. I just think it's going to be a shootout game. If you're betting on that game, I would take the over. Sean thinks you take the under. 47.5. I would see a 27-30, 27-24, 31-28 type of game.
Yeah.
He's wrong.
I think Lawrence is a great quarterback, up and coming. Obviously, it would be nice for the Jets to get him. They were just one pick behind. I don't know. I think Herbert has a lot to prove still. Obviously, Lawrence. I just think the weapons are more there on the side of the Chargers. You got Keenan Allen there. You got Eckler to run the ball. He's in the slot.
More experience.
Yeah, more experience too. I think it's going to be a shootout. I think it's a field goal type game. Listen, I could be wrong. It could go either way. It's a 50-50 game. You can see on the board right there. I'm just high on the Chargers.
What I'll give you for this particular game is the last time they played was fresh off Herbert having cracked ribs.
Yeah,
Go back to that. Nowhere near 100%. Most coaches probably wouldn't have even played him that week, but Staley.
He does what Staley does.
Yeah.
Keenan Allen didn't play.
Keenan Allen was hurt the very first game,
Yeah.
and Joey Bosa got hurt in this game early and left. So
They were missing guys on defense.
I think the mental edge goes to Jacksonville,
Yeah.
and we saw how good of a run defense they could have when they're locked in.
And they're coming in hot too. Don't get me wrong. They could.
But
The defense
think
is
you're winning the
offense. Offense has to
I don't think we know what we're going to see really
No, we don't.
between
it's up in the
Herbert and Lawrence in their first playoff games individually, and now they're up against each other.
It's one of the 50-50 games.
I don't think you could say pressure's on anybody more than anybody else in this game, because
No.
it's not.
Yeah.
Two young guys just trying to take that next step.
Yeah.
Give me Doug Peterson over Staley.
That's
But
what
the
I'm
Chargers are loaded with talent,
And no help
and the fact that
besides Mike Williams.
we even have a situation where the Chargers could make a run is it's not something that I can write off.
But Jags' offense has to step up this week. Can't play like they did last week.
I think the Jacks have a better defense.
So you're going up against a lot different team this week.
Yeah,
though,
it's different.
personnel wise.
Plus,
They
at
beat
the
the
end,
twice. In
Yeah.
college too, but we're not talking college. We're talking NFL. Last year the Tampa Bay Bucks beat the Cowboys all day. That's another story.
bring 7 and
That's a
over.
good segue because we got Buffalo being unanimous with Tua being out.
Yeah.
So yeah, Tampa Bay and Dallas.
Thought we were
Is there
friends.
anything that it's a 5-point game and you're not attached to any of these teams after this week?
Yeah, I just think
Flip the coin.
no coin flip. You see Dak Prescott coming back from the injury. His interception ratio is significantly high. Just been playing poor. I just think coming into this game, the Bucks, they're finding the rhythm. I think they're going to upset them.
Yeah.
If you want to call it an upset, I mean, the Cowboys playing the GOAT,
Yeah.
But for Ralph's sake, obviously he hopes I'm wrong.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah.
But I think the Bucks get it done, and I think they're going to win one game, and I think they're done after this.
Mm.
So,
They're not going past one, though.
yeah, I think they're done. I mean, call me crazy, but Brady ain't winning his 8th ring. Not with this type of team.
Yeah,
He doesn't have Gronk. He doesn't have that defensive powerhouse that they had when he won a couple years against the Chiefs. But,
Yeah.
It would take a lot.
yeah,
Yeah,
It would
There's some
definitely take a lot.
Todd Bowles.
Yeah, Bulls is. I mean, he was with the Jets, so we kind of know. Defensive minded, yeah, 100%. They're banged up.
Yeah.
I think they beat the Cowboys this week, maybe by a field goal, and then they move on. So we'll see. See that.
Giants, Vikings, you're one of the many. If we just look at the board here, like 3, 4, 5.
I just look at
7
the
out of
game
11.
earlier in the season. They beat them by a field goal. It was a 61-yard field goal, I think, by the Vikings.
I mean, it was what, good point.
3 or 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, that's it.
I've always said it, even to my Giant friends, Louis Rochelle, obviously Derek, you know him, Joey Caputo, Sean, you know him, Ralph, a lot of you guys know him.
Yep.
I just think Dayball changed Daniel Jones. He changed him. He needed that, and I think they're going to pull the upset this
He
week.
changed everything. He changed the culture.
Yeah, he does.
Oh, 100%.
It's a cliche thing, but it's a real thing now.
Yeah, and when you look at the team, do they have the talent there besides Barkley? Not really, but they're just a go-getter team. They fight to the end, and I think they're going to
Vikings past
be another close game.
Yeah, they grind it. They're going to grind it.
Next game, 49ers, Seahawks. Obviously unanimous. Interesting, I'll point out that on the way over here, my dad, diehard 49er fan, calls me up.
Yeah.
Went right over my head because they're just moving right along.
Yep.
Horrible weather in California.
Yep. The wind's supposed to be.
And you bring that back to week 1 when the 49ers went to Chicago, and there's just that little thing in the back of your mind
What
that
could happen?
which team can run the ball better, which team is going to turn it over
Trey
more.
Lance was the quarterback.
Trey Lance was the quarterback. And when you add weather and other elements into a game, that stupid things could happen.
And division rivals.
And when is Purdy going to break? You know, like he hasn't really turned it over much. Like when is that going to happen? That could be a
And
prime.
that's pivotal, I think, going in, moving to if they get to the
That's
Super
the
Bowl or
key.
move forward.
Yeah.
Not to get ahead of ourselves,
It's
but
Purdy. No,
he's been doing just enough. He's not turning the ball over next week.
he's doing exactly what he needs to do.
Exactly.
But
But that is a good enough to me.
and Chris, now after a couple of Bengals picks in this game with Buffalo, it's back to Buffalo for you at home against Cincinnati. And what is it about Buffalo that gets in that win over Cincinnati?
I just look at what the team's been through. Like the Hamlin situation, obviously, like that was scary. Everyone to see that live, on TV, the players to be there, the way they handled the situation, and then you see last week the first play of the game, Hines, I think it was, he ran it back 101 yards.
That was nuts.
If the Hamlin thing didn't happen, my pick was always the Bengals. I think Joey Burrow just has Mahomes, Allen's number, but I just think the Bills are just gonna. I think they're gonna live it up for the postseason. They're gonna do it for Hamlin. I mean, the guy might never play football again. I mean,
Probably should have.
you know,
Yeah.
obviously. But,
He's getting his entire contract paid.
yeah, 100%. And listen, the guy did a lot of great things on and off the field, and I just think Josh Allen is. I think he's gonna get them guys going, man. He just clicks when you see him move the ball with the team, and in fact, even for you, fantasy wise, you always said to me, "Oh, why'd you pick Herbert over him?" And I was always high on Herbert, but I don't know. I think it's going to be another shootout type of game. It's just these games when you look at the Bengals, the Bills, Bengals, Bills, and you got the Chiefs and whoever they play. I think you're talking shootout teams, you know, and they're going to be close. So
Come down to turnovers.
yeah, just like the Bills, I think they're fighting for a lot right now. I think they're big families. So.
Yeah.
Orchard Park's a hell of a place to play at.
Yeah, really, yeah.
And that's why even when they got the new stadium, it's like, we're not throwing a dome on it.
Yep.
And I've been to the Bills Stadium. I've been there twice. When the Jets lost in Week 17, we didn't have Week 18 fight usually, right? Yeah, we weren't there yet. When the Jets lost there, I was there. Their fans were awesome. And then I was up there visiting my cousin because they used to live up there. And I went to a Bengals Bills game, and their fans were fucking awesome. So they're gonna be loud, and I think we're gonna get it done. We're gonna go all the way.
Bills won the Super Bowl. He's going to a table.
I'm actually gonna do. We're gonna do the Dudley Boys. Me and Ralph are gonna pick up Sean, and we're gonna throw him.
Yeah, you gotta make him take Dudley.
We'll have drunk Joey throw me through a table.
Moving on to, and I like this pick. Xavier did the same thing. Chargers beating Kansas City at Arrowhead. I'm with you with the divisional game. Every game is close. You could have Staley back on the O-line this week. He's practicing this week. Won't play this week. If they advance, he moves forward. So Chargers, Kansas City, anything to add to that?
I think it's just a divisional game. I knew I was down on the boards. I'm not really high on the Chiefs. I mean, yeah, I would say a couple years ago, everyone scared I don't want to say scared to play them, but they were just a powerhouse of the league. I just think their defense is vulnerable. I don't know, maybe Staley might have some up our sleeves that we don't know, but I think they'll get it done. If they get past the Jag, that's one of the toss-up games. But.
And with that game, ultimately, again, just like for Xavier, the Saturday night game against Jacksonville was huge. Chargers win this game at Arrowhead. There's a lot of other things could happen over here where maybe none of these teams win, and that game could be the sole game that actually clinches the second Pickem championship in the playoffs. They can't write it off.
It could, but it won't.
And then, the Chris Berman special that a lot of you guys have here, when we're playing prime time, is the 90s. They wanted it every year and you never got it. And you got it here 4 times. It's Buffalo, San Francisco. And a lot of you guys have it, and all of the guys that have it have Buffalo winning every single time it happens.
Yeah.
Notice on the Pickem board here, nobody took the 49ers to win the Super Bowl.
That's a little freaking crazy.
For Joey O's who didn't pick,
Come on, Keith.
if you were to mail it in and be like, I'm just going to take the 49ers to win,
Could have won.
No faith in Curry.
if you truly thought Cincinnati was going to win, like I do, then, that's one thing. But if you were taking Cincinnati just to take a little bit of a shot and maybe stayed away from San Francisco, it was there for the taking. It's absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
And now, Chris is very much alive. Looking good with a lot of this stuff in the back end. So, Sean, defending champion. Bengals again. Bills, 49ers, we got all that. For the Chargers, Jacksonville, is there anything else that we did?
I mean, it's a 50-50 game. It's just, there's really nothing to add. It's 50-50.
It is.
I flipped the coin, picked the Chargers. That's it. Joe Mixon
and
wouldn't like it, but I flipped the coin.
maybe the difference maker that we haven't talked about is Eckler, who's the most consistent player in college football.
One thing I consider too was the youth. They do have the better coach, but I consider the youth for the Jags and how they played last week. I know Tennessee has like a defense, but
Yeah, I mean, not.
And then Chargers looked bad last week. They're one of those teams look bad one week, next week play better. So
You can't figure it out.
no, you can't. It is wonderful. Anybody who says they know that game's lying.
Well, here you are, with all the banter, and you have Dallas over Tampa Bay.
I do.
What's the call?
The call is they played so bad against my Washington Commanders that I think they bounced back. I know everything's pointing Tampa Bay. You got to go 1-4 on grass.
Yeah.
I don't know.
7 versus 3.
In my mind, if I pick Tampa, they're definitely winning. At least, in my mind, if at least Dallas wins, I get a win out of it. That's my thing. And that's why I picked it.
That's kind of what Rob said up there, too.
Did he? You're right,
He's
Rob.
got Dallas.
Okay. That's all I got to say about that game.
Giants, Vikings.
Cowboys fan. I like it.
For the week. Yeah, for the week. For the week.
So here, Giants, Vikings.
I think the other toss-up game, I just feel like they're healthy on defense for this game. I think they have 3 or 4 guys added this week, potentially. It came down to last time. I just feel like they could have their number. It's going to come down to stopping Jefferson. At least hold it a little bit. So.
Who's your anytime touchdown score for that game?
Very good.
Should I go Barkley again? Too soon?
That might cost you again.
It cost me.
I mean, why don't you
Cost me last time.
Why don't you go with one of the emerging guys why the Giants are here is Hodgins. He scored a touchdown in 4 or 5 games.
The guy you benched.
The guy I benched last week.
How about you go Daniel Jones? Just gonna go ahead and first in today. He's gonna roll with it. QB sneak maybe at the 1 yard line instead of going to Barkley because you think the Vikings are gonna think they're going to Barkley. So,
What's Hodgins? Hodgins got you like plus 400 or something for a touchdown.
That's not bad. That's a good bet.
Probably
I'm
something
going
like
juice on that. 4-1, 5-1.
Don't make that bet.
Yeah, he probably won't even really catch it.
But yeah, that's what I just feel like they're healthy on defense. The better, I like the coach better. I think he's going to have the guys ready to play.
Okay, fair enough. And then Bills over Cincinnati. You rode Cincinnati last year to win the whole thing.
It was close. I just decided that it was Buffalo's turn with the home game. That's why I went. Though we saw the Bengals last year, road. But I just went with Buffalo. Also, the Bengals I think were like 26 in rushing or something this year. The passing's great, but the rushing hasn't been happening back really lately. So
Pickem Mixon, he hadn't scored a touchdown since
I know
the Carolina game where he blew up.
So I saw that stat. I'm like, ooh, that's dangerous. And the O-line's a little banged up. It's still better than last year.
Lost Lionel Collins, and now this week they'll be without Alex Kaplan.
Yeah. So who knows when
Scares
they're
me a
going to be
little bit.
ready. So that scared me a bit too.
Yeah.
But I mean, I would not be shocked if it was Super Bowl again. I love Joe Burrow, but I just went with Buffalo this year. I just feel like it's their time. Not because of the Lamar stuff, but I just think it's their time.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's been.
Yeah.
I mean, we literally have a rule in the playoffs that was changed last year due to what happened with the
Yeah,
Bills.
with the overtime. Yeah.
It's overtime.
Both teams get possessions this year. So.
Yeah, that's gonna be cool.
And the one thing I'm worried about with Buffalo is the turnovers. Josh Allen's been turning the ball over a lot. So.
You're right. Absolutely.
So what's your, before we move forward with this, what's your 3-team parlay?
If there's 3 teams, okay.
You can just do it right now. We already know the 3 teams.
I know. Then why you ask?
So I want to hear you say it on the
Fine.
camera.
Buffalo, Bengals,
49ers.
There you go.
There you go.
49ers.
I knew what it was when I hear him say it for a live video. In case anyone wants to put a parlay in.
You're not going to win shit.
You have to throw a lot of money down on that to win the last money.
Yeah. Take that to the bank. Yeah, Sean, the rest of this stuff looks pretty much just like everybody else, but going over the board earlier, which we did.
Joey D.
You got obviously
You're my main
you got to
competition,
catch
wild
other
card.
guys here, but
Wild card, Joey D.
before you can think about me, Rob, Dave, and Mason,
Yep, Joey
D and Sean have 3 wild card games different that are all the 50-50 games.
Got to win 2 out of 3.
2 out of 3.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're seeing across the board.
Going down, Mr. Dallas, Joey D.
I mean, we're going to call him Joey Padres if he gets this 2 out of 3. But, you know what?
No, I'm not.
You know what? Hey, you know what?
You know Joey D's a Cowboy fan. You know that,
I
right?
just said that.
Really?
Oh, you just said that?
I just said
Oh,
I didn't know that. That's what I'm,
just-
Joey D. You the man. That's what I'm talking about.
Shout out to Johnny Moran, your uncle. Best boss I ever had.
But man, just won last week, Joey D.
Forget that. Just don't trade Hill for James Robinson next year. Cut
There
that
you
down.
go. There you go. You have to get it in once.
Just I have to, you know.
Stick your schnoz
Sorry,
right in
Derek.
front of the
I want
camera.
Here,
that
check out the schnoz, man.
That's being edited. Yeah. He's going to get you with that one. But then, we move up to Joey D, and
I mean,
the same differences with you guys. With Sean, it's identical. We don't have Joey D's input. But yeah, for Joey D and Sean, those 3 wildcard games, that's pretty incredible, man. I don't think that's ever happened before in doing this.
not that I can think
It's
of.
never happened before.
Damn Joey D.
We've had ties where, like, me and Rob up here.
Yeah, later on.
And, but there's other games at the end where you have different.
Me or him, one of us are out after a while. So.
Yep.
No. Just please not be dependent on the Cowboys game.
Exactly.
Monday night.
It would be, this doesn't go in order, obviously.
Yeah.
So, it would come down to the Monday night game.
If we split, yeah.
If you split.
Please don't. But I would rather just lose.
Let's go. Sean's gonna be rooting them Cowboys on. I love it.
So with Joey
just gonna have to
D,
be
Sean
alive.
very much alive. And then it comes up to me, Cincinnati. We're not even going to really talk about with
talk
Baltimore.
about Cincinnati.
Cincinnati, we'll talk about them a little later on. But yeah, with Baltimore, look, I'm a little afraid of Baltimore. I'm not going to lie.
You don't want a third string quarterback?
The first year, the year after I won Pickem, the very next year was Seattle against the Rams, and I took Seattle. And Jared Goff wasn't starting that game because he was hurt.
Yeah.
And it was a division game, and they played really tough. And they split, just like these guys did.
True.
And Cam Akers went off. The defense smothered Russell Wilson at the end.
I think they said the Ravens defense has done the best against Joe Burrow.
And since Roquan Smith came in, their defense is lights
Even
out.
better.
With the exception of the Jacksonville game.
Yeah.
That's it. So
Outlier.
I'm not the fact that I believe Huntley is playing because he was practicing.
It's either him or Brown.
Yeah.
But it's looking like Huntley.
It's looking like Huntley, and Huntley's been capable at times.
Yeah.
If it's Brown,
It's just been very tough this year to watch the Ravens offense. It's very hard to watch the Ravens offense.
Yep.
They haven't decided on who's going to be the
No.
QB for that game? I decided.
I'm thinking Huntley.
Yeah,
I'm playing-
it is undecided.
Yeah, most likely.
I'm going into this
Sure.
pick. I went into this pick thinking it was going to be Huntley. So I mean, I was never thinking Anthony Brown.
Yeah, you got to go Bengals. Everyone wants to see that Bengals-Bills next
nobody-
divisional round.
Did anybody pick the Ravens? No.
No.
Xavier had the Ravens the whole way, and then switched.
No, he made a smart move.
Yeah, smart move.
On
Actually.
paper, he
I
did.
say that on record. You
Watch
can play
the
this
watch
back
the
in
Ravens win.
Yeah, for me next Jacksonville. My only thing is it is a 50-50 game. I made the pick before Mike Williams was out. I feel a little bit better now.
Same thing.
Yeah.
I do not like the fact that the Chargers played their starters and lost last week.
Yeah, that's
I don't think mentally that you played, you tried, and you lost to Denver.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're going to Jacksonville.
and you lost one of your main.
If the Chargers get by this game, I think they could be an interesting team. But it's just a matter of getting through this one.
Yeah.
If they get past this one, they're suddenly a scary team. And,
yeah.
and you get a couple of you guys have them.
Yeah, they match up well with the.
Yeah, if they get by, then Chris gets eliminated the following.
Tua being out, it really sucks.
Yeah.
This could have been a rematch of a special game a couple weeks ago.
Instead, my brother's going to be drunk watching his Dolphins lose.
It's tough. There's no way you can.
I wouldn't even
feasibly
want to
see
watch
that.
that game by myself.
Yeah.
What-
Plus, what's his name? What's the quarterback?
Stephen Thompson is most likely going to start.
Yeah, last week it was like not very good because I don't even know how they won that game.
And then moving on, Tampa Bay and Dallas.
That's the answer.
Well, Tampa and Dallas for me comes to Brady finding the one-on-one matchups with Dallas' secondary.
Makes sense.
And it's most likely not going to be anywhere near Diggs. He's going to focus on whoever's got one-on-one on the other side of the field,
Yep.
and he's going to pick them apart, I think.
What's crazy about that game is Dallas is more talented, but everything points to Tampa.
Yeah.
Which is just nuts. And I still pick Dallas.
Well, I think the Bucs come out, and I think they open it up with the pass, and then later on, if that's working,
I can see
then
it.
you're going to start seeing Fournette and White with the run.
I can see it.
And then it's just a matter, and then with Dallas's offense against the Bucs defense, the Bucs defense is still pretty respectable, and I don't know if Vita Vea is back.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know that
If he is, I don't like that.
he played the first week. The first week, the Cowboys couldn't run it all.
I'm not a fan of that.
I mean, the first week these teams played, the Cowboys couldn't run, and it was up to Dak to throw, and it didn't happen.
Yeah, it looked horrible.
I think if Dallas loses that game against Tampa, we need to have talks about getting rid of ownership. We got to figure out a way to get rid of an owner with his team. Jerry Jones needs to go.
I agree 100% agree with that.
I mean, yeah, with Dallas, there's a lot. It feels like there's a whole lot more
There's a
running
lot
on this
that
game.
can go.
Yeah, this is huge
Yeah.
for a lot of
Pretty much have to
careers
get
in
to
Dallas.
You got Tony Pollard, who's a free agent next year.
Yep.
They almost have to get to the conference championship.
Yeah, to be a respectable team. Yep.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Minnesota and the Giants. For me, it comes down to this time of year. It's about special players. The deciding factor of the first game is Jefferson.
Oh, absolutely. Giants are hoping the
And
corner.
that's
There's a
it.
lot of games. How about that Bills game, the way he did with the Bills?
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Jefferson taking over a game and getting any kind of contribution from Osborne, Thielen, or Cook. And then the defense they're okay against the run, they're horrific against the
I
pass.
think they're last in pass. Right?
They're either last or next to last.
Yeah, they're horrible. They're just lucky the Giants don't have too many receivers. But
Yeah, that's
Right.
not their strength.
that's the thing. Yeah.
Yep.
To clean it up, the 49ers. Me, I'm taking Kansas City to beat the Chargers. I'm not going to go up against the Chiefs. Where I'm at in the board, they're not necessary. Cincinnati, well, I might as well just get into it at this point. Beating Buffalo, beating Kansas City in the championship, and then winning the Super Bowl. For me, with Cincinnati is, I don't think you could phase them. I think they're unbreakable in a way.
I'm sorry, Chris Cat about to lose a life.
Jared, you should know.
He's a Cowboys fan too, right?
Nice.
Anyway.
I will say gray is my new favorite color because of her. I will say
I'm
that.
talking about.
And no relation to the Dallas Cowboys.
No silver and blue, no
Or the
brown.
Raiders. Or the Raiders.
You got the tabby cat. The Bengal over this.
We got the
We got Garfield over here.
He's over here. He's over here.
But yeah, just to finish up mine with the Bengals, I mean, whether they're down 21-3, or if Burrow's getting sacked 9 times, or if it's in the cold, or if it's going up against a good defense, which the Steelers and Ravens in their own division usually have that year in and year out, man. I mean, with Higgins and Chase on the boundaries, the perimeter, with Burrow, and then on the opposite side, I truly think the Bengals have the best defense in the AFC.
Yeah.
And you can't—they're like the no-name defense all over again.
Buffalo's right there, but they have some injuries.
Yeah.
I mean, they're looking Von Miller.
The Buffalo injury, Von Miller, but then you have Micah
Hyde's
Hyde.
coming back, yeah.
Well, not right away.
Not this week, maybe next week.
Maybe.
But then he's got to
gotta
have his legs under him though.
True, yeah.
He hasn't played. DeMar
He
Hamlin.
hasn't played since what, week 4?
DeMar Hamlin was his replacement, and now obviously with DeMar Hamlin, now you got
that's a
2
liability.
starting safeties
Yeah.
that are going to be out for a game when you're playing Chase and Higgins.
Yeah. That's going to
So
be rough,
Holtzfield, Told, I just throw that out with Cincinnati.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like I
yeah.
said, those two, the winner of that game to me goes to the Super Bowl. That's my.
And as far as obviously, I talked up the Eagles.
Sorry,
I talked up the Eagles a lot in the, I was a Jalen Hurts owner.
Yeah.
The Lane Johnson injury scares me. So whether he plays or whether he can even make it through all these games,
if he can, he's still 70%.
because I have him. I got the
still great.
Eagles. I got the Eagles in the Super Bowl. This is kind of my contingency plan if they don't make it. Picking the Bengals.
Does anybody have the whoever plays the Eagles next round beat the Eagles or no?
I don't think so.
Yeah, wow. Dallas.
Yeah, Dallas.
I'm the only one.
Dallas.
I can see that.
I
But
mean,
We gotta
just
get through
'cause
Tampa though.
we got. If we make it there, that's a very winnable game. It's making it there. I'm just saying, we got to make it there. So
You need
that's-
Dak Prescott to not turn the ball over, and he needs to play.
Dak's going to slide way too early.
Oh, come on. Nah. We're editing that out.
There's going to be so much he's going to want to edit out.
Nah, you don't edit out anything.
No, I'm gonna let it roll.
Yeah.
I'll let the punches roll.
And of course, me and Robert tied. We have plenty of different here. And then when you go to Rob, again, a lot of the 50-50 game. Me and Rob have every wild card game different this week too. Yeah, all the 50-50 wild cards we have different. And then of course we got the big ones different. Then you move up to Dave and Mason to wrap this thing up.
Mason didn't even pick the Niners to win.
Wow.
Mason told me flat out that it comes down to Purdy.
I mean,
He's
it
not
did.
worried about it.
Smart man. I agree.
That's why nobody picked the Niners to win the Super Bowl. Because of Purdy.
Yeah.
They went the safe route and we'll put them in the Super Bowl, but not win it.
And these
And I'm guilty of doing it.
So really, and you look at it, obviously you got the wild card difference here between Dave and Mason, but it's going to come down to the AFC Championship game if either of these guys, if these two teams are still here, or one of them is still here, it comes down to one of them winning that, because they both have the Eagles winning the whole thing. It's funny how at the bottom of the board, the Eagles weren't to be seen.
Yeah.
Then you get to the top of the board, and the confidence is still there.
I feel like there was a lot of fear most of the top teams were going to pick the Eagles.
Yeah.
Because of Jalen
Safe
Hurts
picks, yeah.
versus Purdy. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then, of course, Rob
That's why I went
just flipped the
Niners.
Super Bowl around.
Yeah.
And,
Let's take into account though too. The Eagles, Hurts and them, they don't have much Super Bowl experience, so not much playoff.
They got
Neither does Dallas.
True, but
Jalen
we got
Hurts
more playoff
Jalen
experience
Hurts
than
is a
them.
playoff game. That's what
Losing.
he's got for experience.
Yeah, and a loss. So I mean,
Yeah. Because the quarterback slid too early.
but no, Eagles are a really respectable and great team. Probably the best team in the NFL. So far.
Health's going to be big for him, getting chemistry back going.
Yeah.
That's going to be key.
For one of the final questions, any team not in this column outside the 49ers that you think can make a run?
I
think the question should be anybody outside Philly or the Niners.
think the Bucks, if they beat us, they're gonna make a run. That could happen
I think
because
that's
of
right.
because of Brady. You just can never count him out. I'm just hoping that we shut that noise out.
So a
early.
great a Minnesota win and a Tampa win. Tampa goes to Philly.
Yeah.
Lane Johnson.
Yeah.
Maybe he doesn't finish the game.
I mean,
Yeah.
Tampa beat them last year, so.
Yeah, and I can see that being a bad matchup for Philly.
You never know.
Tampa versus Philly, yeah.
That's the fun part about it.
Yep.
I mean, Tampa's nowhere near what they were last year.
No, true. Yeah, it's like they're riding on a high right now.
It's, you played your best game towards the end of the year against Carolina.
Yeah.
Brady goes out there,
Yeah,
looks good against Atlanta. They pull him out.
yeah. So their momentum's up.
But against
Cowboys
some
down.
bad teams, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, true.
so.
That's a good point, true.
And outside of that, man, 9 out of 11 are still alive for this year. The 2023.
Sorry,
playoff
Derek.
game. Yep. And that's the old sweep. Number 2 for me this year, this season. I'll take it anytime I can get it.
Yeah.
Thank you. And that's the old sweep. Man, this should be a vital list.
That's a bigger one because that's the father. So I gave you that.
Yeah.
The Bristol on
Sorry, Dave.
Versus on that Clorox.
But yeah, that wraps up the season for playoff Pickem. And Ralph, YouTube, maybe by midnight tonight or whatever.
Yep.
And yeah, we'll see. Maybe this could be this new tradition has definitely grown a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Another pandemic invention of a lack of communication turning into just something.
Yeah. Something more
That's
to
what
look
it
forward
is.
to.
It's just something to do.
We got 3 out of 4 chicks sitting here except Mr.
What were you
Ralph.
at? Year 8 now? Year 8? We're at?
Year
Altogether?
5. Year 5 for
For
this.
this, yeah.
Well, year 8 all together with
But this is really only
No, I
this
think
is
we're-
only year 3 as far as the playoff part.
Yeah, altogether it's more than that.
Well, I think we're year 8 all around since Derek created this.
Yeah, yeah.
So shout out to Derek, the commissioner, not to toot his own horn, but he's been growing this league. We got a dynasty league, 14 teams. Got a lot of gurus in here. John, Rob the champ.
Good connection there.
We got Ralph in there now, substituted for Mike B. the King. Sean, obviously, Joey D, Joey O's, Jeff, X. Oh man, I gotta meet you, X. Come to Neptune, New Jersey. I'll send you my address. Then we'll link up. I'll talk some shit to you, and we can talk shit together.
The Commanders.
And one year we are going to do it. We're going to have all 14 guys on this board.
Yeah. Let's do
I
it.
think we're going to do it one year.
Joey O'Wag, it's up to
I'm
you
making.
guys.
I'm gonna make your picks for you, man.
Heath, I'm coming to Texas, or I'm gonna come down there. We'll go to the bar.
Heath, you
Shoot
did
the
not
shit.
pick the 49ers.
We got
Yes,
TJ,
sir.
Dave. We got a lot of good guys.
Oh, TJ. Oh, you're not even on this.
TJ, no, I do not want Kelsey.
Who am I missing? Who did I not say in the chat? I'm trying to think.
You got Rob, TJ,
You
David.
did Jeff.
You didn't mention about Jeff.
I mentioned Jeff.
I think you hit everybody. But yeah, man. Let's go Cowboys.
That's all I got.
For this
man.
week.
We are-
For the rest of the year, come on, let's get to if Cowboys win, I'm going to Texas for the
Is your wife gonna let you know that?
Oh, I'll be going. She's coming
She
with me.
approve it?
Oh, yeah,
she's gonna come with you. Okay.
Yeah,
Who's
yeah.
gonna watch the dogs?
See how
John?
that goes.
John's gonna
I
watch
watch
the
it.
dog.
John's gonna watch the dogs.
I watch them.
John, Poor, and
You're
Jerry.
going to be coming home.
Jerry.
You're going to be coming home and there's going to be a picture of your dog on a telephone pole saying this.
John, Poor, and Jerry. All right, man. But yeah, good stuff, fellas.
We're all good here.
Yes, sir. Damn. I didn't even- I
So
had
the video's gonna end? You gonna edit that out?
Yeah, no, we'll keep that. We'll keep that in there.
Kept it in.
Yeah. I thought you were gonna come back when it got to 13-6.5.
Yeah,
I did
it
too.
looked like it. Yeah.
He actually made a good play. They were like, it was like 3rd and something. And
Is that
fucking
the
ran
one
it
to
up
McLaurin?
at the 1 yard line or something.
Oh.
At the 1 yard line, it was like 14.
Talking about the Dak touchdown, the CD, or are you talking?
Yeah, he made that play happen. It was like 3rd and 12.
Yeah.
And then Hal had that big throw to McLaurin.
I don't know why this thing was just like. This thing just said, "Let me just start recording."